People, hello, how are we? Hopefully we're all doing well. I'm Tom. Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall 2's done, and firstly, what an atmosphere. I was watching that. I wasn't there, obviously. I was watching it on DAZN, and it just seemed electric. It just seemed absolutely electric. I really liked it. I think it was fantastic. I loved it. And the card was good. The atmosphere was just phenomenal. And the fight really lived up to it. That versus number one, that was definitely better. Number one, look, wasn't a bad fight. But the reason why that got so much traction behind it is because Jack should have won. And obviously, it was given to Josh. Not because the fight was phenomenal. That fight really was phenomenal. And I think that the hatred runs deep. I mean, they were just whacking each other, a few head clashes. It was good. It was really good. And look, let's look at the card, shall we? Let's start with the Chev Clarke. I mean, since I say the card, let's look at the top two. Top two of the bill. Chev Clarke versus Ellis Zorro. If I'm Chev Clarke, I'm disappointed. Because, look, you got the win. And fair enough, got the win. And you can do better than that. And this isn't a dig at all. He just is a better boxer than that. So if I'm Chev Clarke, I'm disappointed. But I'm not Chev Clarke. So if I'm me or I'm somebody else in his corner, I'm looking at him and saying, look, mate, you're 9 fights in. And it's important to look at where you've come from and where you are and what you started on doing, whether it's before the bell or early undercard, to where you are now, co-main event in a sold-out First Direct Arena in Leeds in an electric atmosphere is really something. And if you can beat an Ellis Zorro, who, look, I know he's coming off the back of a loss to Jar Pataya, but that's Jar Pataya, and Chev was expected to win, which he did. But if you can beat him in a performance that you're not happy with, and in a performance which probably isn't up to par in your best, then that bodes well. That bodes really well. So fair play to him, and well done to him. I think that's amazing. It was incredible. It was a good fight. And Ellis Zorro, look, I mean, he clearly had some niggles in the back of his mind from that that defeat. And that's probably why he didn't get back up from the Chev Clarke knockdown. But he's a good fighter. And Chev Clarke was just winning. And I think now if I'm Chev Clarke, where do you go from here? I think you look at, I mean, obviously there's the Vidal-Riley fight, which is definitely there, but I think they're friends, they get on. Vidal said that they're not like Dan Aziz and Josh Boazzi friends. They're not going to go on holiday together or anything like that. But obviously I'm assuming, like, you know, Team GB and stuff like this, and they obviously know each other and they get on. So there is that, but I think because of that, but also Chev's not going to want to step down. He's just got the British title. You don't want to step backwards and fight the English title holder, even though I think that's a great fight and a fantastic domestic dust-up. For Chev, it's a bit of a step backwards because Vidal's behind him in his career. Vidal's English title holder. He's British title holder. Now you can, yeah, okay, you're making a defence, but there's that, so I don't think that's going to happen. So you're looking at Isaac Chamberlain, who fights soon. I think Isaac Chamberlain's avoiding heavily Chev Clarke and Vidal-Riley, and fair enough, because I think both of them give him a very hard time. So I think Isaac Chamberlain's avoiding those two. So then you look at probably the loser of Richard Riakporhe versus Chris Billam-Smith, because that's a world title shot. And if you fight the loser and beat the loser, you're right in the mix. That's the way you could go, and it's again a domestic dust-up, and then you're defending the British title the British title as well. But that might be a few too soon. So then you look again European, but I'd like to see him stay domestic for a bit, and let's not rush this. So, I mean, maybe Vidal, but moving into the main event, let's talk about the Jack Catterall versus Josh Taylor fight, which was a very good fight. And the big talking points, those scorecards, which I get because I see two sides of it. 117, what was it? 117, 111 or something like that. And that's a 112 or 110, whatever. I think it was 117, 111, two of them had it. That's wide scorecards. That's very wide scorecards, and it wasn't that wide of a fight. But the early rounds, what was it? 4-1 to Jack Catterall. The early rounds did go to Jack Catterall, and later on, I think the last three, the last two, certainly the last one, went to Jack Catterall. So I think he won. I think the right man won. That's the big thing is ultimately I think the right man won. And the scorecards, although wide, I can see some of them, the last sort of 2 or 3, the first sort of 4, majority of them went to Jack Catterall. The middle ones, there were some close ones. And now the thing is with the close ones, people need to understand, close rounds, you can give them even. You can give them 10-10, you can give them 9-9, you can give even rounds. But a lot of time they don't. They go, oh, well, this person just edged it, or that person just edged it. And it's like, well, if it's a close round and you think it's even, score it even. Do you know what I mean? There's not an issue. There hasn't got to be a winner in the round. But if you are scoring a winner, and I think what's happened is they've been, oh, Jack lost the last one, he's British, and don't want to have another robbery, we'll give him this one. And then it ends up being quite wide, but people can just score it even. Outside of that, again, the right man won. That's the first and foremost thing. The right guy won the fight. So, great. And what a performance, what a fight, great atmosphere. And I think going forward, I know he said that this chapter's closed, but what does he do? Now, you're looking at title shots, because, he's 30, he's no spring chicken, he's probably about his peak. You're looking at title fights. So you're looking at, there's Teofimo Lopez, there's Devin Haney, or I think you get the rematch. That's the 3 routes I'd say to go down. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, or the rematch. Devin Haney, I'd avoid. I think Devin Haney beats him. I know he's coming off the back of a loss, but I think Devin Haney beats him. So you have to T.O. or Jack Catterall. Or Josh Taylor too. 3. I think his style, now look, you might think I'm wrong here, but I think his style causes T.O. a lot of problems. I'm not saying he wins. But I think his style causes him a lot of problems. A lot more problems than he'd probably like to admit. So I'd probably chase that and go for the world title. If you can get that, go for it. You've got to go for it. It's a world title shot. And again, I really do think he poses him a lot of issues. Not that he wins, but he gives him a lot of problems. If you can't get that, I know he said the Josh Taylor chapter's closed, but you've got to look at things and logistically and go, you've sold out an electric 13,000-seater stadium. If you're selling that out, you go bigger. So what do you do next? Maybe you go again, and now this time you're the A side because you've just won. So rather than fighting in Leeds, go down to Manchester, which isn't exactly too far, and do what you can do there. Sell out the arena, 20,000 in the AO Arena in Manchester, another electric fight, money, 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 and have a third one, win it conclusively and close it. Then you can really close the chapter. I beat him, I beat him twice. That's my thoughts on it, people. That's my thoughts on it, people. Let me know if I'm missing something or I'm well off, whatever you think, in the comment section down below. And make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, people. You know how YouTube works. Peace.